Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to our channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscriptions, and every subscription helps us out with that. Also, if you have a couple friends or colleagues that you'd like to share a couple of our videos with within our catalog and this video, please do that with them. I'm sure they'll find something very interesting. Today, we have another cool article from WOR, but it regards Fandango's top 10, I guess this is a poll, top 10 most anticipated films of 2025. We're going to run through all these films, and then we'll see what you guys find in commonality with all of these films. And I'll give you guys a quick little hint as to what I'm talking about. None of these films on this list are originals particularly, so I think that's an interesting aspect as to where we're going as far as the world of cinema and what the future of cinema is going to be looking like. But all right, Fandango poll of 10 most anticipated of 2025 is simply depressing. It doesn't matter one bit to general audiences that next year we're getting new films from Paul Thomas Anderson, Wes Anderson, Lynn Ramsey, Yorgos Lanthimos, Terrence Malick, Josh Safdie, and Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. Fandango, the U.S.'s leading online movie ticketing service, has surveyed more than 9,000 ticket buyers to find out which movies they are most excited to see next year. And the list is absolutely depressing. Captain America: Brave New World ranks in at number 1. I thought that was an interesting pick based off number 1. Obviously, it seems like they're getting this information through data, of course, through the buying of tickets. So maybe the ticket sales are good for Captain America: Brave New World. I'm not 100% sure on that one. This is a film they're actually still doing reshoots for. So we will see if they get that film out by February 14th, 2025, which is the date. And as we know, guys, this film has been pushed back. This film has probably cost Marvel and Disney about $450 to $500 million. So yes, Captain America: Brave New World is number 1. Number 2, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Mission Impossible 8. Talked about that a couple times on a few broadcasts. That's going to be a pretty decent film. That's coming out in the end of May. So once again, it's another film with a bloated budget. It is the follow-up to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, so we will just have to see how that performs at the box office. Once again, this is another film with a $400 million budget, so I've talked about Mission Impossible. Like I said, I don't believe this film is going to perform the way it needs to, but I do think it's going to be a quality film. That ranks in at number 2. Jurassic World: Rebirth, number 3. Another film we've talked about a couple times. They're really keeping the lid tight as far as plot details. We do know a little bit about the plot. We have seen a couple set photos with Scarlett Johansson and a couple other people that are involved with the film. I do think this film is actually going to be the biggest performer of the July releases. So as you know, guys, Jurassic World: Rebirth comes out early July. Then we have Superman mid-July, and towards the end we have Fantastic Four. It's going to be an action-packed July. So yes, Jurassic World: Rebirth is number 3. Then we have Ballerina. This is the John Wick. Technically, it's like a spin-off, but it's in between John Wick 3 and 4. Ana de Armas is going to be starring in this. Keanu Reeves is going to be in the film as John Wick, and it's going to be an action-packed, heavy film that's coming out in June of this year. And this is another film that got pushed back. It was originally supposed to be released on June 6th of 2024, but another film that had to go back in for some reshoots. We talked about Chad Stahelski's comments on the reshoots, and then Lionsgate coming out and rebutting those comments. I thought that was pretty interesting, but that comes in at number 4. Then we have Fantastic Four. Once again, this is going to be a highly anticipated film because it's really going to lead us into Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So it's going to be very important that this film does very well. I have no questions when it comes to how much money has been put into this film from Marvel and Disney. I'm going to guess they at least put $250 to $300 million in this film. You have Pedro Pascal starring as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, and the original players that are in the Fantastic Four. And then you have RDJ. I think he's going to be actually making a cameo in this Fantastic Four film. So he's going to be Dr. Doom. It's definitely going to be interesting, and I think it's really going to be a test to see what direction Marvel is going in with this film. That's number 5, Avatar: Fire and Ash. I talked about that within the last week. This is going to be a big film. Of course, there's a lot of anticipation for it. The third film for James Cameron in this franchise. I think out of this entire list, Avatar, Fire and Ash is going to make the most money, and I mean with ease. I believe this film is going to make easily $2 billion, just like the other two Avatar films did, and I do believe the element of fire is going to actually build anticipation for this film that releases in December of next year. Number 7 is Wicked. Now, this is going to be the second part to the Wicked film that we got about 2 or 3 weeks ago. One good thing about this, I gotta say, I don't know the movie-going audience that watched Wicked Part 1. I know it was a pretty long runtime type film. I believe the film ran about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Me and Buttons have actually speculated that Wicked Part 2 will run a lot shorter, so maybe an hour and 45 with this film. I think that could boost the sales. Obviously, since there is a Wicked Part 2, you're going to carry over the hype from Wicked 1 into Wicked 2, so you could see Wicked 2 outperform Wicked 1. I want to say Wicked is over $400 million at the box office globally right now, and I think Wicked 2 will perform just as well, especially if Wicked Part 1 keeps running all the way through early December. Now, we know there is a lot of competition coming up in December, so Wicked will probably teeter off, but I do think there are going to be a couple stragglers and people that want to rewatch the movie, of course, if it is available in theater. That is number 7. Number 8, one that I'm excited for, The Accountant 2. The Accountant, pretty cool film. Talked about my anticipation and excitement for The Accountant Part 2, starring Ben Affleck. Very cool film, slow build, but very good, written well, pretty linear in the story. But yeah, overall, solid action film, great build-up, decent story. I want to see where they go with this second part, to be quite honest. Maybe John Barenthal returns to his role, and they figure out a way to combine Ben Affleck's character and his character, so they're actually working together towards, I guess, a common goal within the film. But yeah, if you guys have never seen The Accountant, go watch that. Ben Affleck is starring. I believe Anna Kendrick is supporting in there. A lot of cool action scenes in that film. And like I said, one film that I think it flew kind of under the radar, but one I think has picked up and has a fan base of its own now. So yes, The Accountant 2 drops in at number 8. I think that's a pretty solid placing on the list here. Number 9 is Superman, James Gunn's new DCU Superman, starring David Corenswet as Superman and Clark Kent, of course. I do think there is mild anticipation for this film. I think it's the same type of anticipation as there is for Fantastic Four. People are just curious about what's going to happen with this film. You know, when you do a character like Superman, there is a lot of pressure. I want to see how James Gunn conducts himself with this one. Like I said, this is going to be a centerpiece for the new DCU, so Superman does have to work. I believe the budget is about $350 million, $360 million, so another big budget, another comic book movie, but Superman is one of the big characters that you can kind of utilize those big budgets with to make some money. We are still waiting for that trailer release. We heard that it would be dropping sometime in December, but we haven't seen anything yet. We're about almost halfway through, so let's see if we get that. You know, if that drops, I'll definitely be letting you guys know. I'll give you a review for that. We'll keep our eyes out on Superman. So let me know down in the comments. I'm all the way through 9 movies now. Let me know if there's anything that really sticks out to you and what you're excited for. And also, too, if there's something that's not on this list, please let me know what you're personally excited for. Or let me know with this list that you have here, if these films that you've heard so far, if you would rearrange them to your liking. Definitely want to know what your guys' list is out there, ladies and gentlemen. The last is 28 Years Later. We just talked about this. The trailer just dropped. Very exciting. I'm surprised it's actually not higher on the list, but I think the list is pretty stout when it comes to just mainstream popular films, to be quite honest. The only film that really sticks out to me as being misplaced would be Captain America: Brave New World. Other than that, everything checks out in this ranking. The author goes on to give a couple more thoughts, but I really just wanted to tackle that list. I actually care more about you guys' opinions on it. It is interesting that Superman is so low on the list, to be quite honest. Like we said, $350 million budget, man. You're going to want Superman to at least rank in at least the top 3 for DC, especially when you're trying to create the new DCU. A lot of pressure, like I said, on James Gunn, but not to focus too much on that. Like I said, guys, comment down below if you like this information. Comment down below your personal list. We can start a good conversation about that. Like this video, share this video with a couple of friends, and let them know to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you can keep getting cool information from me, Neff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen out there, be safe. It's Neff signing off.